Alright, welcome to part 3 of my video, final part. So it's been cooking for about 35 minutes, and here's how it looks with a low simmer. Man, I think that steam actually fogged up my lens. Let me clear it out. There. Yeah, look at that bubble. So let me go ahead and stir that in there. Now, upon initial looking at this, it looks very thick. Very, very thick. I am very, very tempted to add another can of tomato sauce to this. Just because of how thick I think it looks. I haven't even tasted it yet. But I think it's probably going to be good by like how it is. Man, I think it looks very thick. I'm going to taste it right now and see how I'm going to adjust it. So let me just go ahead and mix it. Watch out for that splash bubbles. Alright? Put that cover back on. I'm just going to grab a spoon and clean spoon. Taste it. The initial taste test. So grab a little number of the sauce there. Okay. Garlic for sure. I think, man, it's really close to how I want it. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more Liu chili oil. Actually, more chili powder, excuse me. More chili powder. I think it needs a little bit more sweetness and it needs a little bit more spice. So a couple more dashes of chili powder. And this is basically my taste. My tongue is telling me what I think I need. Alright, so I think I need more sweet and I need more spice. I definitely have the onion and garlic down. And the tomato's good. So I'm going to add some more honey to the dish. Nice, helpful amount. And then stir that in. Gosh, I'm kind of debating whether I want to add another can of tomato sauce into here. And if I do, it would be a total of 60 ounces, which is quite a lot. Should I or should I not? I guess I won't. I won't. This is fine. I mean, I do like my sauce thick, but I think, you know, once you mix this in with some spaghetti, it should be fine. You heard a click in the background. That's basically my water being boiled in a water boiler. So I have another setup here for my noodle. So I preheat. The way I cook, like to make water boil fast, I pour a little bit of water in here, set that at high heat, very high heat, and then I boil water on the side, and once it's done boiling, I'll pour it in here. Because like the hard part about boiling water is obviously just waiting for the water to boil. It could take a while if you don't have a good heater, but if you have a kettle, why not boil the water in the kettle and pour it in? Usually when you boil the water and you pour it in here, it's already hot. So like, I've only had this on for like, what, 3 minutes since I started the video. And it's already kind of boiling. I already see that. So that's like a quick way to boil water, is to boil water in a kettle. And then to just have a little bit of water there, boil that, and then what I'm doing is I'm pressing the pot against the burner, so it has more. The burner has more contact area with the pot itself, therefore it heats faster. Very geeky, nerdy trick, but it actually does work. It makes the water boil faster. Then I'm going to add some salt to the mixture. I add a couple dashes of it. I think the salt helps with the pasta. And I'm going to cook here angel hair pasta. And I have a little tricks too of what I do with the pasta now. When you're eating spaghetti, it's always these long noodles. What I do is before I put the noodles into the pot, I actually break them all in half. And you'll see me do that. So first I just got to double check how long I'm supposed to cook them. It's always different for each pasta. I know these are probably like 8 minutes. Let me see here. Cooking directions. Boil water to a rapid boil. Measure and add pasta. Wait for reboil. Cook uncovered, stirring occasionally. 4 to 5 minutes. So, oh, it has a little diagram here. Let me check this out. Servings. Uncooked pasta, ½ inch, 1 package, 4 quarts, 4 to 5 minutes. I guess I'm doing the whole thing, so stand pasta on end to measure. 4 servings. Well, I think it's going to be basically just 4 to 5 minutes. 16 ounces for 1 package. This whole thing is 60. Okay, so yeah, 1 package, 4 quarts, 4 to 5 minutes. Pretty short time. Well, anyway, you could use the pasta that you want. I'm going to use angel hair for this. I'll wait for the water to come to a full roaring boil before I add that. Okay, back to the sauce. There it is. So I've added the spice and I've added the honey to make it sweeter. And it was really close to where I want it now. Yeah, that Parmesan cheese is just melted into this thing. It's perfect. Just want a little bit more kick and a little bit more sweet. And then I got it. So that's what I added. I'm going to stir it up and then take another taste test. I try not to get any meat, just the sauce itself when I'm tasting it. That's pretty much it. Damn. I think that's ready to go. That's ready to serve right there. I'm going to let this cook and let it simmer on low heat again while I'm cooking the noodles. You could cook pasta sauce for as long as you know, an hour and a half, like very low heat. So the longer you cook it, I think the better. Just like a curry dish or anything that has a lot of spices, the longer you cook it in the dish, the better it will be. So you could cook that for like another extra 30 minutes. I'm just going to cook this for like an additional, 10 to 15 minutes while my pasta is cooking. And so I'll let that sit there, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with my pasta. So this is coming to a boil. I don't know if I should bring over there we go. You can see it's almost boiling. It's coming close. Anyway, once it starts to boil, the directions, you just follow the directions of the pasta. It's pretty straightforward. Bring it to a boil. Yeah. And it's only 4 to 5 minutes. Very short. Let me see what this one was. The Garofalo. This one is 11 minutes. So let's go with the angel hair. I think it's ready. So the directions were to bring it to a boil, add the pasta, wait for the reboil, cook uncovered, stirring occasionally for 45 minutes. Alright. So rapid boil, almost a rapid boil. I say close enough. So I'm gonna get half the stock, pull it out real carefully, and then with half you could break this in half. if you try to pull out the whole package and break it in half, it's harder. So I took half, and I'm gonna basically snap it in half in the middle, like that, and then dump it in, and then quickly get the other half and do the same thing. Okay, and dump out whatever's left. And you gotta have one of these kind of tongs, or not tongs, spatulas, the ribbed teeth kind, so you could kind of mix it. The key for cooking pasta is not to let it get stuck on the bottom. So you gotta be really stirring this occasionally, at least at a minimum. Also, you want to break up the pasta in the beginning part, because if you let it just sit there all clumped together, it will actually cook clumped together and won't be able to separate. So you gotta kind of mix up the pastas, break them up in the beginning too. So I'm gonna put my timer on. I'll let this come to a roaring boil like the directions say. Roaring boil. I'll actually help it get hotter by pressing down on it. You can hear a bubble. It's at 4 to 5 minutes after it reboils. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the timer, which I have in my kitchen here is the timer. I'll put, it's boiling now, so I'll put in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, starting now. And I'll keep stirring this, make sure the pasta doesn't get bound up on the sides or anything. Oh, and while cooking pasta, you also want to have your little, this thing ready, the holes, so you're able to cool it down in the sink and wash it cold right after it's finished. So 4 minutes left on the timer. Mix it. While I'm mixing that, I'm just going to hop back and forth between this and the sauce. Yeah, see that slow boil there? Make sure that's mixing too. I have a non-stick saucepan here. If you have a saucepan that is like doesn't have that non-stick covering, your sauce might have a tendency to stick at the bottom. So my suggestion is to always rub the bottom of your pan, especially if you don't have a non-stick saucepan. And I've also forgot to mention, in that 35 minutes that I was cooking this, in between these videos, you should stir your sauce occasionally, like every 5 to 10 minutes. Just stir it like this. Make sure it's stirred nicely. I'm going to taste that again, just to make sure I got it right. If I don't need to adjust it. Yeah. I'll say that's ready to go. And back to the noodles. Go ahead and stir this. Yeah, this is cooking really quick. I can see why this kind of pasta is so short. Okay. Yes. Two minutes left for the pasta. Stirring the sauce again. I might give some of this sauce to my mom because she's sick in the hospital right now. She's having something removed. Okay, so here is the sauce, and this is pretty much close to being done. I mean, the sauce, like I said, is is almost finished. My spaghetti tends to be very thick like this. It tends to be very strong in a nice mixture of the garlic, onion, chili, and sweet. And that's how my spaghetti tastes. It's very thick like this too. So that's it. That's pretty much it. I mean, the rest of the video, if I could keep going on, it would just be me washing out the pasta, you know, putting it together. Basically, I have it separate. I don't mix the two. So, like, when I'm gonna eat this dish, I'll just get some pasta, put it in a bowl, and then put sauce, and then put it in that bowl, and then measure it that way. I try not to pre-mix sauces with the noodles, because you know, you don't want to have too much sauce or too less sauce. Like, you want a nice thing. Okay, so this is done. Boom. And then I will go ahead and put this in the sink and dump this in there. Looks like I am going to show you this part. Notice how not many noodles stayed in there, which is good. That's what the salt is for also, to kind of help stop it. And then I like to pretty much wash it and then mix it so it insta-cools. It insta-cools the noodle. Stops it from cooking. You see how it's kind of, it was steamy? Keep doing this until there's no more steamy. And if your hands are clean, like mine will be soon, you could use your hands to feel if the noodle is still warm. If it's still warm, keep bathing it. But once that heat is gone from the noodle, then you could stop watering it. Because basically you're trying to like cool down the cooking of the noodle quickly. You gotta get it just at the right spot, the right sweet spot for a noodle. It's an important part. Like, if you mess up the noodles in spaghetti, and either they're too undercooked, meaning they'll be okay, this is finished. If they're too undercooked, the noodle, it'll be too chewy, right? And if they're too overcooked, it'll be like it would break up too easily, and it won't be. So you want it to be firm, but not too firm, and not just the right amount. So this feels like it is, to me, a good amount. And then you have to let that kind of dry out. So I would let this sit, you know, I'd let that sit for maybe like 10 to 15 minutes till it's kind of a little bit more dry. Because right now it's really wet. But it's going to soak into the paper towel, and eventually after about 10 minutes, you'll notice that the pasta is a little bit more dry, and that's when you should add the sauce. Okay? So anyway, I think that's going to be it for my spaghetti video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that. And, you know, I'm glad you stuck by, watched it. This is a little bit longer than my other videos. But, you know, I'm really happy to share this with everybody. So, till the next one, have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.